Hey, it's Mike from 424recording.com, and in today's video, I shot an interview with Brian from Yellow Rainbow. We talked about Spotify playlists and touring and the future of music and a bunch of other topics. Hope you enjoy it. So I noticed recently that with your Spotify thing, because that was never something I really messed around with, but it seems like you cracked the code a little bit.
I mean, you're actually the one who told me how to get my music on Spotify.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, okay, so with Spotify, for me, I just kind of put it up there because I wanted it to be available to people.
Yeah.
And my understanding of how it worked was you could get stuff. There's an algorithm that tells you or that will listen to your stuff or group it with similar things.
Right. Yeah.
That's how I thought it worked. And then I thought somehow somebody was monitoring that or making playlists based on that.
Yeah.
But then it seems like there's this whole other culture of people, tastemakers, gatekeepers, whatever, that are choosing songs to put on playlists that could have a lot of people.
Right.
And it's probably old news for some people watching this, but I don't know, I'm always 5 years behind the trends and stuff. So I didn't really realize that that's how it worked until I was talking to you about what you've recently done with your with Yellow Rainbow and Spotify.
Right. Well, I basically got one of my songs on a playlist. And, so actually to backtrack just for a sec.
Yeah.
With the algorithms, Spotify, I feel like is kind of fucking me with that because they still don't even have me with any similar artists.
That's weird, okay.
Yeah. They did when I first put my music up.
I noticed that too, actually.
And then they
I remember
took
when
it
you
away.
first had it up there, I was like, oh, so what is Brian similar to?
Yeah.
Or what is it?
But it was weird. It was Pink Floyd and all these other classic rock bands, which...
Well, because I think some of that goes along with who's listening to it.
Mm-hmm. It totally does.
So because I know for us there was certain, the ones for Be Cool Cowboy have changed drastically since I put the stuff up
that
there
makes
first.
sense because,
different people are listening to it or the taste change, or they're figuring out more of where they should put it.
Right, just the more data that's collected, the more accurate it should be.
Yeah.
Right? But yeah, they took...
Well, see, that's why I thought the playlist thing was just all about... I thought it was... I mean, obviously somebody's got to curate it. There's got to be somebody putting them together, but I honestly thought it was all, algorithm, all robot-centered.
So
because it seems like when you play something, and it plays something after it...
Right.
After you listen to an album and it automatically goes to something else.
Right.
Obviously,
it sucks because since I have no similar artists, mine doesn't do that. I can't even if you were to play Yellow Rainbow Radio, it would say there's nothing.
Weird. Okay.
Yeah, which is kind of a big bummer. I even contacted Spotify about it. They were like, "It seems like we haven't collected enough data yet."
Right.
And I'm just well, my music's been up for over a year, and I have 500 monthly listeners, and one of my songs is approaching 2K listens.
Yeah.
You would think that it's collected enough data by now.
Decent, yeah. Well, that's because I had the one song up there since 2015, and it has 1,500 or something. So you've already eclipsed 3 years of my song being up there based on the playlist. Because I didn't realize that. Well, because I also have another friend that's in a band, and it's a post-rock band, and one of their songs got on a cafe playlist somehow.
Right.
They didn't ask anybody to put it on.
Yeah.
And it has it's approaching 2 million, or they have a decent amount of plays. And but that's getting at with the data, that video data doesn't, the vlog data doesn't lie that I did. It was I think it's so interesting how much data you can have on what you're doing now, and you can really see what's getting out there, how is it getting out there, who's listening to it, where those people are.
Yeah.
Because now you can really base where you're going to tour or where you want to do stuff on
right,
that kind of thing. So that's what's cool.
Yeah. No, that's really cool, especially for touring bands. To see. I think you actually put this in my head. That's a really cool thing. See because it gives you if you log into your Spotify for artists account, you can see what cities or even what towns all over the world where people are listening to your music on. So that's super good
really
for touring bands. It's a great idea to
because no longer do you just play some random place because it's between 2 points. Now you can say Yellow Rainbow is huge in Portland, Oregon, Portland, Maine, and Austin, Texas. So now you know, if it made sense for you ever to do targeted shows at those places, I don't, you know, that's a whole other story. Like, that's well beyond my wheelhouse of like what I even want to do with my music. But like, you know, for bands that have like, if they're going to be hitting the road, obviously the game has changed. But if you can hit a place where there's like 10 people, 100 people listening to your stuff, why wouldn't you do that? Or why wouldn't you like try to have a residency, or you know, go there for 2 weekends, or book a short thing in the West for, you know, a week? I don't know. I just think, because just think back when I was younger in bands and like the punk bands and basement shows and doing all that stuff and driving around, and you know, I think I told you this. It was like we played. There was a whole tour with one band, and like I think we sold 1 CD, and it was to somebody in like Seattle or something. And it was like, man, that's when it hit me. I was like, we drove across the country to find this one guy that liked our music enough to buy the CD. And that was like kind of like pre-MySpace or like MySpace era. So yeah, we went across the country, found well, you know, maybe it wasn't 1 CD, but like I feel like there was one person that was super interested in the band was this guy there. It was like, man, there's got to be a better way to do this than. I mean, it was fun. It was amazing. It was an amazing way to see the country. Amazing way to hang out with your friends and do cool stuff. But and maybe that's still stuff people want to do. I'm not trying to like shit on anything anybody might want to do or say that that's not the right way to do it. But for me today, it's like I just kind of realized, like in my own life and the time that I have, I'd rather like do some sort of targeted shows where people actually want to see my band, and not go play somewhere at 3 a.m. you know, and maybe have somebody interested, or maybe have people hanging around to watch it, because that's kind of like what we used to do, you know, when we were playing around the city.
I mean, I feel like doing that could be cool in case you happen to find.
It's cool. It's romantic. There's something really cool about it.
Especially if, like, you know, you do happen to find that one person who had never heard of you guys before.
But hey, that could be the one person that like changes things for you.
But to be constantly doing that is not cool, I think.
Well, because I think it's like there's the common misconception with band stuff and like any kind of creative stuff where it's like you're gonna have this one event that like changes everything and makes it so you're big now. And it's like that's not how it works. It's the staircase. So it's like you could use the staircase of touring around and finding one person after one person after one person, or 5 people, or this house, this place. But things are so transient today. Things are constantly rising and falling, and shows, places opening, getting shut down, and you know, people moving around. And it's like I just think there's a better way to do it if your goal is to get more people listening to your music.
So should I go into how?
So like, well, because I think that's fascinating. I mean, obviously, in the grand scheme of things, a couple thousand plays, like there's people like somebody like Drake or huge artists, they have tons of stuff. But like,
it's like really, it's not like even a big deal.
It's not even. This isn't even really that big of a deal. But like,
the
what
way
I think is interesting is that I had my stuff up there for 3 years. And you've already eclipsed that by basically getting on one
playlist.
And so how did you do that?
So the way I got on this playlist is, I don't know if anybody's heard, or if you've heard of submithub.com.
No.
It's like a big inventory for music blogs. There's a ton of music blogs on there, all different genres. So you go on there, you can, there's like free credits, but they don't guarantee that any blogs are going to listen to you, but basically you pay for a certain amount of credits. And then you could submit it to these blogs. And there's like, the blog has to listen to it for like at least like 30 seconds or a minute or something. Did you even know this? I didn't know this.
It's fascinating.
And they have to like give you at least some feedback. And they have to respond within 48 hours or you get your credit back. So I just went on there and I like just submitted it to.
Smart. I'd like to meet this person who
pretty cool. It's not the first time I've tried it. I tried it with my other project, Aurora Spectra, but not to the extent that I did for.
So like, give us like a breakdown of like, so like what? How much is a credit, or is it like one for one?
It's basically $1 for 1 credit, but if you buy in bulk, it's a little cheaper. So I think I don't know. I submitted it to like a good handful of blogs, like maybe like 40 or 50
And
blogs.
so how did you feel about like the response? How did you like,
pretty good.
What happened? What happened?
I mean, it was good. You know, there were a handful of blogs that did not respond in time, or they might have just declined it with no feedback. You get your credit back for that.
That's cool.
Which is nice.
Because you could just that makes sense. Then you could put
but there were definitely like certain people that did respond, and you can sort of tell.
They had like a canned response.
Well,
that's like, immediately what I thought of. I was like, if I don't know. I mean, I don't know how that stuff works, but like, they could literally have just like an intern or some kid being like, copy paste that shit.
So they have
Clover V.
They have basically 3 different so it's their blogs. So they might write a blog post about. I mean, you would think that's what they do. They write a blog post about your release. Oh, by the way, you're submitting songs. You're not submitting like a full album. I mean, you could just like literally submit like every song on the album, but when you're doing one submission, you are submitting one song. Yeah. So I was like submitting like, okay, this sounds like that maybe this blog would take this song.
Yeah, I mean that's another important thing about blogs and about music blogs, and like something I was doing when I was researching stuff back when I was doing other bands. Like, you got to make sure that either you're a reader of that blog, you have some kind of background with it, because like these blogs are getting probably thousands, tens of thousands of emails a day from people just like you and me.
Especially with this, like people who are signed up for this, they're definitely getting so many. And it's probably how they're making some money too by doing this.
I mean, well, see, this is what. That's the other thing too, is like I feel like it's just another way. I feel like there's like a culture of like just monetizing musicians. It's like as a musician, it's like, I mean, this sounds like something that is potentially, obviously it got you, like it got you a playlist or whatever, or got you in contact with people with the playlist.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, is like I feel like as a musician you got to be careful. There's so many services out there that are trying to sell you shit. It's like, you know, this is gonna change it for you. This is gonna make the difference, and it's like doesn't do anything.
I mean,
or you submit the money and it's like who knows what even happens.
Yeah,
there's a lot of scams out there. That's all I'm saying.
There
this
totally
sounds legit.
It seems pretty good, and you look on Reddit and stuff.
I can see how it's gonna become like scammy.
The owner is definitely like on top of his game. Like somebody wrote like a Reddit, like their opinion, like on their experience with Submit Hub, and he wrote pros and cons. And the owner responded like really quickly on Reddit, like basically like thanking him for like input. He's gonna try to make some changes. I noticed he actually made changes for the cons, what that guy said on Reddit.
Well, Reddit is like where you find out what's going to be happening before it's happening. Yeah, that's at least my understanding now.
Yeah, I'm actually not
a big Redditor either. I have an account. I once in a while follow a.
You don't even need an account to look up stuff though. So.
Oh yeah, no, but I mean like there's some conversations like some people ask questions about 4 tracks and try to find them.
Oh, that's cool.
And you know tell them you know how to fix problems or whatever.
That's good.
And just see what people are finding. People are finding really cool stuff like old 4 tracks and a lot of Porta O2s out there, a lot of 414s. But anyway, I just think that's interesting because it's like there's a lot of places online where people hang out and talk about things that you're into. Yeah. But yeah, I keep hearing a lot of things about Reddit. We probably sound like fucking dinosaurs right now, but like
I just heard about Reddit.
I just heard about Reddit, 2018, baby. This is May 2018. What is this Reddit site? No. Yeah. I mean, I've heard about it. It's just like it's not where I spend my time online. I feel like online you have to pick 1 or 2 social media platforms and just like stick with them. Yeah. It's hard to be in every single spot. Yeah. Speaking of Buffer, the reason why I keep saying Buffer is because I've been using Buffer to like, it's like a way to manage all your social media accounts. Okay. So like right now I'm using like one that's like free. I don't even know why we're getting into this, but like, because you keep saying Buffer, but yeah. But anyway, yeah. So it's basically just it's a thing that manages your account. Hashtag not sponsored, just like something I'm using right now. I don't know. Okay. But yeah, that's why I keep saying that. But yeah, it manages. So like that's an easy way to manage all your social media contacts or your social media sites.
What is?
It's basically like a hub for all your stuff. You connect.
What is it called?
Buffer.
Oh, it's an actual. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's why I keep using that. That's why I've been saying it, because like I've been using that and then it's become part of my lexicon.
Okay, I see. Yeah.
But there's another one, Hootsuite. There's a couple different ones, and they're different premium tiers. But like I'm saying, like maybe
I've never used one of those before.
It's cool because then you could say like, okay, I can set up an Instagram post here, and it's gonna shoot it out at this time. Yeah. Because sometimes with this
stuff like that, where it's like you can like kind of set up your posts and schedule them and
stuff. That's what it is.
Like Luna just started using one of those.
It's smart. It's smart.
But she's just using it. I think it's one just meant for Instagram, but it's like yeah. Anyway.
But anyway, so like Spotify. And the
so
stuff.
So you can get a blog write up. They can maybe put you on their SoundCloud, or they can put you on a Spotify playlist. That's like basically the 3 main things that Submit Hub does. If they approve your song, they want to actually like do something with your song. They like your song enough to like. So I actually got 2 of my songs approved. One went on like somebody's SoundCloud, but if you see the amount of content that SoundCloud is putting out, it's like they got like they got like maybe like 50 plays from going on, but like they're putting out so many songs every day that it just got lost immediately. This other
that's the other issue, you know, and that's why I think like playlists are great on Spotify, because if you get to the right one, it kind of circumvents that problem of just shit getting buried. Because now it's like here, it's on like a yoga playlist.
Yeah, it's on a yoga playlist. It's like track 9. It's What Comes Out at Night Can't Harm You. It's got like a lot of piano. It's got a lot of
How would you describe the mood of it?
Definitely hopeful, but because it's got like a contrast of like this dark, like ambient, but then it goes to this like really hopeful section, and it kind of has a contrast.
It's like kind of brooding, right?
I was actually kind of surprised that it's a yoga and meditation playlist. I don't know if that matters, but I was actually kind of surprised that they wanted, because it starts out like super like dark. But I noticed a theme on the playlist that was put on. There's a lot of water sounds on the other tracks, and this has a good amount of water sounds. Right. So I'm thinking that maybe that's why. And
relaxation, water.
Yeah. But what's good is, so the playlist, when I was first put on it, had like maybe like 4K followers. Now it has maybe like 6 or 7K.
Wow.
So it's a playlist that's been growing, but what really helps is that the playlist itself, with that many followers, like 6 or 7K, but they only have like maybe like 70 or 80 songs total, and they don't really circle out the songs too often. They do, but I've still been on it for the last couple of months.
Yeah.
And I probably get like an average of like 30 plays a day.
That's sweet.
From that.
That's cool, man.
But yeah, just to kind of like, so I have like approaching 2K for that one song, but all my other songs are like 100 plays or less.
What the thing is, like, if somebody hears that and they're like, what is this? I need more of this.
Yeah.
Then they can find more songs by you, and they're on Spotify. Yeah, because like, I don't know, man. For me, like with Spotify at this point in my music career, if you could even call it that, I just want to put this stuff out, and if people want to listen to it, like, because I have my core group of bros and people that listen to it, like you, Mary, Sean, Jay, maybe, Dan. Like, I have like 10 people that are really into what I'm doing, and close friends, and they're always giving me great feedback. And that's about it, you know, because like I mean, I'm not playing shows. I don't have an interest in really playing shows. And I just want, if I'm going to be making the music, I at least want it to get out there.
Yeah.
And hey, it would be great. I wouldn't say, hey, it wouldn't be great to get it on a playlist and find out I could go play shows in places. I would love to do that.
Yeah.
Where I'm at right now is like, I just want the people who want to listen to it.
Right.
And that's about it. But you know, if it finds legs based on that, cool. If not, cool.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think that's really cool that you were able to figure out how to get your, because I didn't know there was that whole other site that you had gone to. I thought maybe you were just contacting, because I feel like there's certain tastemakers you can just like send an email to, say, hey, Jim or Jeanette, you know, check this out, you know, and let me know. If
like a kind of a blog, or not necessarily.
Maybe just like a person. Like sometimes there's just people on Spotify that's like,
oh yeah.
Jim's playlist, the indie rock playlist, and it has like, you know,
like some of your songs are on. Before I even started submitting to Submit Hub, I saw you were on like a playlist, and it actually seemed like.
And that's where it's all.
Well, you're on a couple, but the thing is, I think so. But
how do you even tell?
One is like, so you're on a playlist that's under, it's like indie rock, but then there's like dream pop. It's like, that's what it's like labeled as. It's like
bedroom.
It's pretty. It's pretty broad. But like, so when I first saw it, I was like, oh, this has like a few hundred followers. But the problem with that is it's a few hundred followers, but there's like thousands of songs, opposed to what I'm on now with thousands of followers, you know, not even 100 songs.
Right, that makes sense. Yeah.
So it's like, we both probably don't get that many plays from that playlist.
No, I don't know. Oh yeah, because you're on that one too.
I'm on that one too. I contacted the guy. He was like, I like some of these.
That's cool.
Yeah.
See, that's what I mean. Like, I didn't contact anybody.
Right.
You know, my friend's band that I mentioned before that is on like the cafe playlist. Like, just kind of happened. Like, that's why I was like, well, I guess what I'm saying is like, I think the thing that makes me hopeful in some sense is like there's some sort of democratic or what makes me hopeful is there's some kind of algorithm that's grouping stuff together. Like, your stuff potentially won't get lost in the sea of your drop of music won't get lost in the sea of music that's out there, or at least it will find people that are similar to it. That maybe you'll find some people that actually want to like it and listen to it.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to sound like a jaded prick or like, you know, I don't know if I'm coming off like that, but it's just like, I just want to get the people that want to listen to it. And that's it. And
same here. Man.
That's what I think is the most compelling part about Spotify and the algorithm and that stuff.
Yeah.
And I can't believe how good it is at suggesting things for me. Like I'll play an album and then like won't even realize. Well, I'll realize the album's over, but then like, it'll just start cycling through suggested songs.
Right,
based
and it's
on
like,
how much data.
and it's just like you're so into it, right?
Yeah,
just like it's the same mood.
Hell yeah.
It's the same. Like it's
mostly stuff I've heard of.
Yeah,
but it's not stuff I'd be like curating. I'm just lazy too. I don't want to like curate my own playlist. Yeah, certain times there's certain shit I want to listen to, but like I'm down with totally listening to a playlist that's cool. And that's what happened at our wedding.
I've been getting into them a little more recently. Like they make like different mixes for you, so that's like stuff you.
They have like the 5 mixes.
Yeah, that's like it's actually pretty good. It's like usually like they're like different moods that
because I have like a hip hop one, and then there's like like you said, like a bedroom indie one, and then there's
I have like
classic.
I have like
70s
one of
rock.
like all like punk music that I used to listen to back in the day. I guess I sometimes still do, and then like it's kind of curated.
Well, and that's what I mean. You know, it's really good at grouping together like your interests.
Yeah,
and that's why I think it's really good for musicians like you and me, because then it's like groups together what we're doing with similar artists, and then hopefully people that are into similar stuff find it.
Yeah,
because otherwise it's just like.
But even just like, I don't know if I mentioned this on when we went live, a few months back, but just like going into like the related artists, which I was saying before, like going into like an artist I know I already like, and going to their related artists and trying to find new music that way. I feel like I find new bands. Yeah. I used to specifically like go like on the early days of the internet, like 1999, like 2000. I used to somehow use, I don't even remember what I used to do. I used to somehow use the internet to try to like seek out new bands. Just from going to various websites.
Sure. And I remember doing that like MySpace days too. Same idea too. Finding a band you like and then looking at their friends and looking at their top 8 or whatever it was, top 64. I don't remember.
64.
Yeah. But so you could like look at like, oh, okay, this band, these are like their best friends, or like these are their best friend bands. Like, let me check them out.
I feel like Spotify does a great job of doing that with the related artists.
Yeah, I've been finding a lot of cool stuff related to even Be Cool Cowboy that, it's like people my age or people younger or, nothing like humongously well known, but I kind of feel like that's how music is. It's very niche down and it's like make your own corner, make your own camp, find your own tribe, do your own thing.
Right.
And that's kind of how it is. And that's why I'm saying like the targeted cities and stuff. It's like if most of the people listening to your band are in, Iowa, then go play Iowa,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Apparently most of my listeners are in South America.
There you go.
Which is weird.
Yellow Rainbow South American Tour 2019.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. What else was it? Okay, I got a question for you.
Sure.
I just thought of this.
Oh, okay.
Maybe this could be like, I don't know what time it is because we gotta probably wrap
really
it.
Quick?
Sure. Yeah.
It is 12:04. Not too bad.
Not too bad. Okay.
Yeah.
So this will be the last question, and then we'll wrap it. And I'll bookend this too. Like later, I'll be like, okay, this is my interview with Brian.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, so we don't have to worry about the exit shit.
Okay.
But so last question. Do you think there'll ever be a time coming up in human history where less music will be made than there is being made today?
Maybe if there's like an apocalypse.
Right, I guess what I'm saying is like, to me it seems like since I've been a person and a human listening to music, and I think just general trending, like with, there was like certain amount of stuff, and there's always been a lot of bands, but it seems like today, everybody has a fucking band.
Yeah.
Everybody's making art, which is awesome. Everybody should be creating awesome. I think creativity is like what's going to solve a lot of the issues in the world. And it's great that people are creating art. And I think art is creative for creative sake, like created for the sake of doing it. But so I guess my question to you is like, because what I'm starting to think is like eventually, once there's enough data collected on all the music that's coming out, like, I don't know. It seems like there will be some sort of leveling out of
like it'll peak at some point and then like just level off.
Well, I guess I mean like in terms of people finding your stuff. Like I'm wondering like, well, in like 5 years, will people like find the back catalog of all the stuff I released because it was finally able to be collected into like, some place where people. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I guess what I'm saying is like, do you think there'll ever be a point in time where music? Do you think of music? Okay, let's start over.
Okay.
All right. So last question. Do you think there'll ever be a point in time where the amount of music creation will like drop off or like level off? Because I feel like right now it's just been trending upwards since I've been listening to music, and maybe that's just because of the internet and you're exposed to more stuff.
Yeah.
And I think there's always been a lot of music, but it seems like for now, maybe because it's all in your inbox or online.
Well, I think that there's definitely more and more people making music, just like you were saying, making more music, making art. People are being more creative with their time, but I feel like it's just with the internet and everything, just it's so easy to find music now too. So I feel like that somehow feeds into it, and maybe makes people create more with social media and everything. It's like we've
well, it's so
about,
easy to create with your phone or with anything,
and,
really.
And it kind of like
like you can record a song on your phone right now, upload
exactly.
to SoundCloud.
It's so much, that's a good point. It's so much easier to make music, and there's so much more of a need for, like we were talking about, putting it like a single, just getting stuff out there. Stuff is constantly coming out. People don't like work on something and then eventually put it out, or maybe they work on something and then they never put it out.
Yeah, I know a lot of people like that. A lot of people have contacted me through the channel. Jeremy is one of them, but like a couple other people, and it's like people have been playing music for years and they've just never put anything out because perfectionism. Yeah, and that's like all the stuff, the rant stuff on the channel, and
maybe they just either they just give up, or it's like they literally are never ending working on it. They've been working on it for like years and years and years. Yeah, they just still don't think.
And that's
it's
awesome.
enough.
I think that's like I think there's something really cool about that. I think there's a point where that becomes more harmful to you and your psyche and like you as an artist and as a creative person, then it helps. Yeah. And I think that's the hardest thing about being a creative person. I'm sure you know, because you work on your stuff for a long time. Yeah. Yellow Rainbow stuff. So like, it's interesting to notice that at some point you got to say like, all creative projects are never completed, merely abandoned. You got to say like, this is the last water drop. Right. I'm putting in this song. Right? Yeah. So it's like, I think as a creative person, that's really the skill you got to develop. It's saying like, maybe just rush out a bunch of stuff and see how it comes out. And then you can say like, well, that was too fast. Yeah. And that's like with us, like we spent together working on stuff for a year, maybe more, and it kind of torpedoed our band. And not intentionally.
I think there's something to be said, about putting stuff out sooner rather than later.
Well,
and like it goes back to your whole 80% too, right? The whole 80%, like.
Well, that's like this video too, right? Yeah. For all we know, the audio could be super fucking loud. There's the BQE or the LIE right here. Yeah. We're in Long Island City right now, Brian's roof, and it's like, for all I know, this could be unusable. But if it's 80% good enough,
you're gonna put it out.
It's coming out Friday, So like, but that's the whole point of like YouTube and content oriented. And content's a weird word. Like, it kind of commodifies your art or something. But I think something to be said about YouTube and like the channel and what I've seen with the channel and how that's gone for the past year. It's like, you got to commit to doing something on some kind of regular schedule. I've been thinking about Bandcamp. Yeah. I might just start putting out an album a month or some sort of release per month. Yeah.
I think it's a good idea.
See what happens, because like my over time my releases are trending upward, and now it's a matter of like, well, what if I just put out more releases? Yeah. I'm gonna start trying to. Will it fall off?
Yeah. I'm gonna start trying to put out music more often. I'm gonna start working on new stuff this summer. Cool. And either an EP or maybe even just a single. Yeah. But I don't think I'm gonna go the full length route. At least not for a little while. The last release I just put out was my only full length. All the other stuff were EPs, but I feel like I've gotten better at working on stuff and like being able to get stuff out there. I feel like I can definitely.
And that's something you develop over time.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like I could like start working on a song and be putting it out in a much faster pace than I had in that.
Well, I hope you dug that interview. It was a lot of fun to make. It was a great conversation, so thank you very much, Brian, and thanks for all your time. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, you nerd. Godspeed, my friend. Now go out there, do something you want to do today, and I'll catch you on the flip-flop. What do you think of that outro, Brian? Was that pretty good?
That sucks.
Peace.
Hey, Mike. So, just do my thing over here, over there, everywhere.